Laffoon here for your life, your marriage, and your family, coming to you from beautiful downtown Alma
Beautiful.
and Audio Foundry Studios.
That's right. Well, you know, it's really quite amazing how things disappear in your home. And it just drives me nuts because I'm just
socks in the dryer.
True confession. I'm an anal retentive guy. I have like a place for everything and
Really?
everything in its place. And every once in a while, we have this charging station in our kitchen where I charge my iPhone and my iPad mini. And I have my phone charger and my iPod charger there. And every once in a while, I'll go to plug in my phone and, oh, my charger's missing. Where did it go? It's because my daughter has come in and taken it because her phone doesn't charge as well. I'm gonna watch TV.
No, it's because she doesn't want to walk upstairs to get her phone charged.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, it drives me nuts. Oh my goodness. But anyway, today we're talking about technology and communication. And I will never forget when we bought our son his first phone. He was 13 years old in junior high, and because we traveled a lot, we wanted to have direct communication with him. He was responsible enough, but it was wild because I would always call him and it'd go straight to voicemail. I'm like, Tori, why didn't you answer it? Oh, I didn't hear, Dad. You know, all these excuses. But then if I would text him, he would answer. And I found out later that the reason he did this is because if I called him when he was with his friends, it would be very embarrassing for him to be going, okay, Dad, yeah, sure, Dad, I get it, Dad. And they would go, why are you talking to your dad? But if I was texting him, he could do it discreetly.
Nobody had to know who he was talking to.
So what we want to understand about technology and our kids is that you have to begin to communicate with them in ways that they feel comfortable with. Our daughter, she never talks on the phone to anyone. Not her friends, not her boyfriends, and no one does she talk to on the phone.
Not like this talking on the phone.
But they talk all the time.
On the phone.
Via
like
texting,
this.
via Twitter, via Snapchat, you name it. And so it's very important that you understand what technology your kids are using so that you can monitor it. You know, technology is a wonderful thing. It can be used for good or it can be used for evil. And when you're talking about kids, if you're not monitoring what they're doing, you are going to find yourself in a pickle because it will turn really quickly. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about technology. And again, we're going to say this over and over again. You need to have access to your kids' accounts. Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever it is, you need to be in control because what? They're your kids. They're not adults yet. When they turn 18, when they want to start paying for everything on their own, great. But right now, you need to have access so that you can protect them.
We were in a meeting the other night, and Grace was sitting next to me. It was a high school meeting, and the gentleman who was in charge was the athletic director at our high school, and he said, "I know you don't want to monitor your kids' Twitter and social media and stuff because you don't want to be the bad parent." And I looked at Grace and I said, "No, I just want to be the parent." And we're not going to harp on that today. That's not what today's show is about.
Yes,
but really,
it
it is about being a parent. And it's not a bad parent. It's a caring parent and a loving parent because there's a lot going on social media and on those kids' phones and droids that are really, they could really get themselves in trouble. But here's what we want to talk about. We are talking about technology and that it's not a bad thing. We were in the Hamptons several weeks ago, and we were walking around, and Jay goes, "Where's the bathroom?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but there's probably an app for that."
I needed a
Sure
bathroom,
enough,
and I needed it now.
and sure enough, I went on the Apple store. I sat down on a bench. I'm like, "Look, toilet finder right here. Up, it's this way. Oh, and then that
Actually,
way."
it's
We're just
called
gonna
WC Finder, water closet finder.
But technology can be very helpful.
We've used it many times since then.
Just like it was when our son first got his iPhone, and that was the way we communicated with him. It's the way we communicate with our daughter. I have an app called Find Friends, and I've told her it's not because I want to watch where you're going all the time, although I do. I want to know where you are when we're traveling. I want to know where you are and that you are where you're supposed to be and you're not in some ditch on the side of the road. So what we have to understand about technology is, yes, there are parts of it that can be very scary, but there's parts of it that are very good and very helpful. And we have to embrace the technology, and then we have to set some boundaries. And that embracing is realizing that there are good things about technology. We communicate with our kids all the time via phone. Now, sometimes I'm on one level of the house and Grace is on another, and it's time for dinner.
I'm
too lazy to
come up and get you.
Hey, it helps, right? I can just text her and say, "Din din, time to come downstairs." But it is help. You know, apps for in the next week we're going to be talking about apps that are great for education for your kids, for your home organization. But realizing that this is the world we live in, and we have to embrace it.
And
right
understand
now.
this: you have to be ready for the first time your kid calls you a creeper. You want to do find friends? What are you creeping on me? It's my life. No, no, no. You have to be ready for this.
Yep, I'm
and
creeping on you.
you have to be prepared to say, no, I'm not creeping on you. I'm parenting you. It's a whole new world, folks. It's a whole new world, and we have to be prepared and willing to take those steps to still be the parent of those kids we love so much.
So we have to embrace the technology, and then we also have to set boundaries. We have a couple different boundaries that we have worked really hard at. That charging station that Jay was talking about in the beginning, that's where our phones and our iPads go at the end of every day. We try and get them there about 9 o'clock at night so that we're not distracted by the phone and by the iPad, but rather we have some
Or by
family
words with
time.
friends, that
But
kind
we're
of-
watching TV usually, so there we go. It's still technology because of TV, but we have that back. We also have don't bring your phone to the table. Our son became very good at holding his phone under the table, and he could text while he was looking at you right in the eyeballs. I'm not
Little.
sure how he did that, but we could tell that that's what he was doing. I'm like, put your phone down. I don't have my phone. Yeah, you have your phone. Your hands are in your lap, and you're supposed to be eating dinner, which is up here. So having those boundaries, whatever works for your family, but really setting those. If you have young kids who maybe do listen to something on their iPod at night to go to sleep, make sure that's across the room so that they can't get that phone and start doing other things with it. So whatever it might be, but setting those boundaries, it's really important. We have to embrace the technology, but we also have to put some boundaries on it so that we are very careful with what we do with our phones and iPads.
And here's what's critical. You got to set the boundaries together. It's got to be together. And for those of you that are in blended families, we understand that's very difficult because one family might set certain boundaries and you might have other ones, but you've got to, if you can, set those boundaries together.
Well, we are Jay and Laura. This has been Jay and Laura TV. We're here for your life, your marriage, and your family, and we'll see you next week.